They can try to see how far they're going to be able to go.
Judging by there's only 18 people left, as long as they have the syringes here, it's unlikely they're going to find, kind of a secondary party this far out in the circle at this point of the game. It is possible, especially if they have some of the more mobile legends on their squad, but for now I think it's pretty reasonable here. And as you see, just purely off of Crafty alone, he has 4 syringes, which is more than enough to get him and the entirety of the squad back to full HP.
And it actually looks like this is the loadout as far as legend composition that I think we're going to see the most of today.
Yeah.
The Wraith, the Bangalore, as well as the Bloodhound. Because of the Bloodhound-Bangalore synergy that, we can talk about till we're blue in the face, but just the pure utility that they bring individually, and then having somebody on that playmaking Wraith to be able to flank around and create those better opportunities.
Yeah, I feel like when I look at Wraith, she's like one of those few that balances between the skirmishing and kind of the, fighting capabilities of the Bangalore, but then still on the utility aspect to some level too. And I love her as that kind of third rounding out between the two very skirmish-heavy and synergistic of the Bloodhound and, again, the Bangalore.
It's actually really cool when you think about the Wraith. When I was talking to Respawn yesterday, a lot of people kind of had these conversations about how broken, not broken that her tactical ability is in that phase. Apparently, in the early renditions when they decided to create her, it was 7 seconds long and you could shoot instantly. But the developers, in their gracious goodness as well as plenty of playtesting, realized that that might not be as fair. It might be a little bit more overpowering. So not only did they move it down to 4 seconds, I believe is what it is now, as well as creating animation when you come out. But if you're a Wraith main, when she comes out of that, when she comes out of the phase mode animation, she's actually clenching her fists and then comes out and releases her fists. So it's like releasing the frustration of being in this kind of like alternate universe. So it's like the little things like this that Respawn has really tried to kind of implement into the game and show that extra depth to it itself.
It's a common trope with characters that travel between dimensions. They usually really wish that they weren't doing it,
Yeah, no, they aren't happy with their burdens. Yeah. They definitely, they wear, again, a burden that maybe they don't want to be able to have, and it feels like their life is literally, can they overcome said struggle? And right now, it feels like at least Crafty and friends are able to do so. They only have 3 people left, already popping Beast of the Hunt. We got very few opportunities that anybody could be that wide. Great flank up the rock. Pops 2 with the Peacekeeper, finds 1 in the track. And this is actually really interesting. Scouting and then choosing to use the upgrade there with the choke and volunteering what target you want. This is one of the few moments that you can do that due to Beast of the Hunt here. Great play coming out from Crafty. I mean, color me impressed after that transition there.
He just ran.
And then we got full scout as you see the footprints there onto the ground.
He's been playing pretty well. Crafty got 15 kills in their last game.
He's sniffing. He knows.
Yeah, I think he's just looking around.
The hound.
You smelling that?
Yeah.
Smells like
He's 100%
pumpernickel.
back to his teammates. Did
Really?
we thirst?
Why
Does
not?
death smell like pumpernickel?
No, it smells like death. It doesn't. Pumpernickel smells like pumpernickel.
Oh no. We smelled the same thing, but we had very different results.
Tastes like
So, ooh, interesting. Team MDK has switched to Gibraltar, so we do have somebody playing Gibraltar.
We got a North American
We got it,
Gibraltar!
And that means that now every character has been represented in some way, shape, or form.
I got the fast kill backpack.
A lot of loot here to choose from. What do we end up landing on? Still the choke. Pretty good scout, or scope as well here on the Peacekeeper. I don't know what we have on the Wingman. Ideally, you'd like any kind of magazine increase.
Where's this guy go, man?
And, basic scoping, and you feel pretty good. Thing goes up the hill.
Yeah, he's got a full loadout here. He doesn't have the one-time digital threat that I think everybody wants to have at some point or other, but he does have the Skull Crusher piercing hop-up, which is extremely important if you want that extra damage and you're able to hit those headshots.
Yeah, Disrespect actually now backing to shield and heal, but the rest of the squad's still willing to push up.
The Broys have crossed into the 100-point club here. Only 7 points behind Kings Canyon. Hunting for that second place, but right now, somebody's got to catch Reed's money team.
And I think there's a very big thing to highlight here that's kind of going on the action, beyond the competitiveness within the standings, within the action in this game. DrDisrespect is completely kind of isolated from the rest of the squad, while Crafty has some kind of poke onto a different end. DrDisrespect was able to survive, and it feels like able to bring his HP back to full and join with the rest of the team, but for a moment there, it felt like they were going to just kind of get pincered right through the squad.
You can't seem to find this enemy. We'll tell you how this game ends, and if you want to follow all the action, go and jump on to Crafty's stream. Go follow Viz. Go check out DrDisrespect. Right, I want to go jump up with some people we haven't seen yet today. Here's Team Papega. This is Lyric, Shorty Guy, and Seagull, who have been doing pretty good and are really creeping up on Disrespect the Craft.
I'm sad to see that Seagull does not have an immediate wingman, but let's be real, that could be loot or just difference of preference. By no means does he have to. It was just that in my head. That was Dreadnought's what I wanted to see. But we'll see if they go for it later.
And this one here, we're currently watching Lyric. Thinking about picking up the piece. He already has a Peacemaker. You know, he's good to go. Right now, a Peacekeeper. I called it a Peacemaker. Dang it.
Yeah, I definitely like set the bad precedent on that one. I called it Peacemaker once.
It's like a pacemaker, but just so it's the opposite of a pacemaker, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, the pacemaker keeps you alive.
The pacemaker restarts your heart when it stops.
Somebody over there.
The Peacekeeper just stops your heart. Right now, your boy Seagull, though, doing pretty well. 13 kills in his last game. 6, 7, and 9. 6 the fewest kills he's gotten so far.
The one thing I will say about Seagull, you know, I've gotten to watch a bit of his stream in the past, and again, you guys have the opportunity to tune in with him, but a few times I've been able to meet him, just a very, very kind and, you know, cool guy to be able to hang out with, and I feel like it translates over to stream as well, so sure to check that out, guys.
Same thing for Shorty Guy that you have on the screen right now as well. Very genuine individual, plays a lot of different games, known for some of his Rainbow Six. Of course, he is one of the trio of Giant Waffle, Lyric, as well as Shorty Guy himself that have played a numerous amount of games, specifically Rust, Minecraft, all the like. They definitely love those survival-style games that you can kind of have a little bit of fun with. Now he finds himself off in really good lighting.
I don't see him, but...
Yeah, no, I love his setup. I love the symmetry of the lights that are behind him, too. Like, gets the full purple look going, but then has a nice orange as well. It's a very solid setup. Very like simple but sophisticated look. Not complicated clothing. Oh no, Seagull goes down. Go help him, Shorty.
Lyric looks like he's trying to pressure up to be able to help him.
Help him, Lyric.
He's still revivable technically for a short period of time, now only recoverable on the banner.
Oh, but he's reviving him. He's getting Seagull back up.
You see the wingman trade, actually almost no damage taken here by Short Man. Or Short Guy, excuse me.
Short Man!
Man!
Shorts, man!
It sounds like a dude who only wears shorts. It's like a never dude. He's like an only short.
I believe his first name is Guy.
It is.
Short Man.
And so it is a combination of the fact that he is a short person. His nickname is Shorty.
Short, though.
He is kind of short.
He's like almost 6 foot.
I don't believe it. You're pulling a Nick Merckx on me right now.
I'm just saying, I'm a slightly above average human being, and both of you make me look like a short guy. So
I think that was one of the greatest redeeming features is when we have that when we're standing in front of the rosters and we both actually can like look each other in the eye.
We're just normal people
now. We're just normal-sized people. Come over and hang out with us. But oh no! You said the shots were gonna hit. Well, just in time. He doesn't want to hear us talk about ourselves. He wants to let us know that he can shoot with the wingman and hit those shots. Indeed, he can.
ooh, that headshot back to back there. Only one whiff in between, but it was all that was needed there in that tense moment. Seagull ended up surviving that very risky situation. I say surviving, but what I mean is completely dying, have an ally go res him, and now able to reloot, which, to be frank, other than stats, no difference when it comes to game outcome.
Beauty in Apex, though, you know, man? Just getting the people back up, and even when you're dead, it doesn't matter. You can still be respawned. And so we did not get to see anybody actually jump out of the plane and jump back in after being respawned in Europe. I hope we get to see that. But let's go check back in with Kings Canyon right now. Dizzy has been doing some pretty crazy stuff, and right now he's at 8 kills in his current game.
I'm gonna take the 285.
Rocking the Spitfire and Peacekeeper.
And that beautiful skin. Every time, dude, I just get a little bit more jealous, and I'm like, why don't I have that in my life?
If I had a skin that had a melee weapon he could hold, I probably would just run around with it. I would remember to put my weapons away more often because I'd get to see the cool skin.
I think
That's actually a really good point. There's a tactical advantage to the skin.
Yep.
Respawn, please.
A really cool thing about this as well is watching the proficiency of how quickly they're able to loot, and a huge component of that is specifically with what Apex Legends is actually able to do when you're swapping over to attachments. Because the game automatically puts attachments in there, it makes these high APM players that can click through able to get themselves an upgraded piece of equipment and then go right back. A huge component of that, of course, is Sean Slayback himself, the weapons designer for Respawn. And if anybody wants tips, the man is always on Twitter throwing weapons tips. He was actually throwing the ones about the digital thread out there and kind of giving everybody and dropping the knowledge. And as a result, you can see how much better these players are able to loot and go because of these little tiny things that he did when he made all these weapons.
Summit, Josh, and Babai, and also DrDisrespect the Craft jumping in to that 3-digit club now. A tight race for third places. Kings Canyon starting to pull away a little bit, but Reed's money team as well, really making that distance up right now.
The one thing I was going to say I'm impressed with here is we've been trying to keep some of the momentum and the idea of who's going to get in the groove and like how that looks, right? And it felt like for the moment there, the Broys were skyrocketing. You know, Shroud and friends were really able to kind of step their game up. But then we actually saw that DrDisrespect and friends actually now seem to be finding their groove and kind of rejoining here. It's an interesting decision to kind of stop halfway up the lift there out from Dizzy.
I can get to Richard.
Yeah.
Well, right now,
Yeah, I'm ballooning over.
Shroud, the player that is, there's so much hype around, and rightfully so. He's an absolute monster. He's been having a bit of a quiet day, only averaging 6 kills a game. Both his teammates averaging at least 7.
You know, there's an interesting kind of idea that might come around that, right? And, you know, when we watch Shroud more often than not, how often is he paired with 3 debatably equally skilled players, right? You only have so many enemies that you can kill. And what if that's a situation of, you know, when you put greatness with greatness, it just kind of looks average, right? And that's clearly not saying that he is an average player.
No,
but it kind of taking away from his lethality that we kind of have known to expect from him. I'm not saying that is the case, but it's something that might be coming to light.
Could be possible here.
Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, Ninja tries to jump across the roof of the building to scope something out and immediately gets tagged up. He's forced to use a shield battery. He's going to take down one. Thankfully, he's got a giant magazine to Spitfire. He's going to swap over, but he gets tapped on the face. He's going to get knocked down. That's going to be the full takedown. Now, there is 90 seconds for his teammate to get that recovery. You can hear him communicating with his team and saying, guys, I'm going to need to respawn.
Yeah, that was a really clutch moment there. You could understand the crouching to go for the swap. I think he didn't have the immediate shot after the swap when he actually revealed himself quite yet. The animation was just finishing. Not 100% sure there, but either way, getting pressured out, Ninja in a tough moment, and he's stuck around a lot of red dots.
Dizzy's banner popping up on the spectator screen there for Ninja. 4,206 kills on the Wraith.
Almost 3,000 headshots alone.
Really, 4,000 in 8
damage.
days. He's gotten 200 since then.
The only number I have, again, even close to that is my grapple, and that's purely because I just grapple too much.
You don't even look at the circle. You're just like, whee!
I'm just, no, it's straight up. Is it on cooldown? Okay, we're pressing it. Let's go. So they got to go for the recovery here. We still only have, what, 36 seconds for them to be able to get to that. Portal is going to be laid. There's breathing room and some distance in between that. So Ninja is going to be very weak if he gets the full res. He'd be able to go in, get the pickup, take that portal, and get to the res on the back end very well. Dizzy has a very in, out, job's done type deal, but the most important thing is that he's late enough that I'm not sure if he's going to fully make it.
Yeah, it's going to be really close. 15, 12, 13 seconds left remaining now before, and I think he's going to have to just make this conscious decision of, sorry, Ninja, I'm not going to be able to pick you up here. We need to make sure that we get these eliminations. He recognizes that. He throws the arc star out to try to get a little bit of cover fire. Now Dizzy's going to try to pop right over. He's going to come through onto the roof. You can see the marks on the artillery strike, but a nice little spray to be able to get the knockdown. He's going to try to go through. Gibraltar's there, so he's going to have to run through the shield because, as we've noticed throughout the course of the day, it is not breakable. And he's going to have to rotate himself around and see if King Richard can help out.
Yeah, they haven't found him quite yet. They're both stacked on together. Found him in the corner. Wraith unable to make it out. No Ninja, no problem. Already enough damage done and set up, and you got Dizzy there to clean up shop.
And they've done quite a bit of damage already. Ninja got the 1 kill he needed in that game. Everybody else helping out. King Richard going up to 13 kills. He'd been having a really, really slow day. He'd had a max of 3 kills before that. Now coming up to 13. Good stuff from him. Go over to the Broys. Let's jump back in with Shroud, Skadoodle, and Justin. Right now, Shroud leading the team.
Man,
He's been...
Skadoodle. Do you see that right now with the scout? I'm sorry, in the bottom left, he just opened with 6 shots about 200 meters out and almost hit every single one of them there. Bit of a whip over that.
It's also the blue dragon skin.
Yeah, you're right. When we were asking, you were asking my favorite skin, right? This is the blue version of what is my favorite skin.
Azure dragon.
I feel like I like the crimson one better. I'm pretty confident there is a red one, but the blue one, actually, now that I'm seeing Skadoodle with it, I might have to change my vote.
The skin is carrying it.
It kind of is. You know, those bullets are definitely hitting more, like 2% greater because of that skin.
Artillery strike comes out, so that's going to have to be forcing Skadoodle and friends to kind of move themselves around. Instead, he does take a little bit of damage. You can see the shield damage there. And remember, when these do come down as well, as you can see, it kind of dulls the senses a little bit and forces a rough situation for you. And so he's going to have to be forced to rotate to a different position. He will go down. He sees a little bit of the loot box, wants to go ahead and say, nope, forget about
he's
that.
like, let's go CSGO surfing. Woo! Sliding is so much fun.
It is.
And one of the coolest things about it, we've only seen it come to life once, and it was at the beginning of North America, is that you can heal during it. You have the opportunity to be sliding and healing at the same time. It's one of the fastest mobility while also having maximum HP, increase in, kind of just health effectiveness overall at the exact same time. It's one of my, one of those small but great choices made overall here.
Now we've got all these pings showing up on the map as he gets another one. Can he finish him here?
He's one shot from getting, and he confidently takes it.
We see right now, Skadoodle on the Bloodhound, there's all these little markers that keep showing up on the ground. Can we explain to people that maybe don't know what that is, what we're looking at?
Talking about that a little bit. Ooh. Okay. All right, we can talk about it again. His teammate helped him out a little bit. So Bloodhound, known as the lethal tracker in Apex Legends, as they decide to end up killing the champion there. When you actually see those marks, it lets you know where the enemy has been, or the enemy has been there X amount of seconds ago. So 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 50 seconds, something like that, which allows you to do exactly what this legend was created for, which is to track. Now, in combination that you find with that ultimate ability that you see in the middle that's kind of highlighted and active, that's going to be Beast of the Hunt, his ultimate, which then kind of gives you more of an opportunity to track them, highlights them a little bit more, but more importantly, gives you the speed upgrade so you can track them a little bit more efficiently. As now the standings have appeared, 6 of our 8 teams are now above the 100-point mark, 151 points for Reed's Money team, 130 for Kings Canyon's, 21 points, a little bit of that lead being expended.
Right now, we only really have 2 teams that have experimented at all with the changing of team comps. Right now, Ninja, one of those teams. He played the Lifeline after switching off of Bangalore, and now he's on to for his next game, he's going to be on the Bloodhound with King Richard picking up the Bangalore, so they have now adopted the Bangalore Bloodhound Wraith, what it seems to be the meta comp right now.
That was a real good shot to be able to connect with that 40 damage here.
He's up here outside of the bounds.
Yeah,
momentary advantage of that.
Yeah, 15 seconds until he had to get back in. Managed to land onto the ground. A lot of pressure there. Not landing with a longbow. Say it. And then third shot, actually able to reel in that knock. We have one up to the right and one down the hill here in the squad. Skadoodle pressuring up. Over the edge.
Oh, that poor person.
Oh, and a snap rotation to be able to get the execute there. Love it.
One more final
target
shot.
practice.
One more final shot to make sure he gets that elimination, as well as the extra point onto the kill counter for him. 4 squads, 12 players left alive now. That's 5 kills into the hands of Skadoodle. He's going to do a nice little 55 dink onto some epic armor, and he's going to snap from one side to another as both of the members pop out. Unfortunately, none of those shots are going to be able to hit, but it's doing just enough to occupy them, as it looks like his teammates could have an opportunity to roam around.
Still trying to peek. No, there's 2 up, one off to the right, a little bit one off to the left. Not able to land that one as they drop down, both stacking on top of each other. 1, 2, 3's a charm. And he finds the first knock, swaps over to the scout, drops down 4 and 2 knocks here. Coming right out of Skadoodle. And look at the longbow. Brings it back out. Oh my, not able to, barely able to make it out of the smoke, but let's be real here. After those 2 knocks.
Do you want to talk about confidence? You're talking about a scout and a longbow. You're talking about 2 light and heavy ammo snipers, essentially. Single shots.
How many squads did they just wipe? 2?
Yeah, they just wiped 2 squads.
I also want to point out that Justin is just nowhere to be seen. He's just somewhere off this way. When he gets out done looting, you'll notice on his mini-map, there's the yellow arrow that indicates where Justin is. It's just pointing off the map. He's like, he's over this way. You can't even see him. He's so far. That was Shroud and Skadoodle by themselves, wiping 2 squads.
Impressive.
So now 2 squads are left alive. If I'm not mistaken, taking a look at what the numbers were right before that question mark started to appear, it is a full squad of 3, which now is an opportunity for them to have 3 more kills to their counter, as well as the potential 5 if they end up winning this match.
If I'm reading Skadoodle's minimap correctly, every time he flashes it up for like 30 frames, Justin is on the entire other side of the circle.
Yeah.
Playing the let's cover as much area as possible. This is still a very large circle. We need to get out of these games as quickly as possible. So with this 1 squad left, it could be 1 person hiding in 1 building. We need to be able to find him. This Beast of the Hunt is going to be important. It could be huge if he finds the guy right now.
Well, and every second that you're wasting looking for this last squad, these last members, is time that's coming off of the clock. We saw actually at the end of the Europeans block what this was a problem that teams were running into. With a couple players left remaining, you're not actually able to finish them off, those are minutes wasted. Those are points that you're not able to acquire.
And I actually really like that call, especially if you're going to send out a quote-unquote scout in these type of circumstances, right? Who are you going to send to do that? Somebody with a portal to be able to get you closer, and with an iframe to be able to survive a all-in initiation 3 versus 1. You legitimately can almost not choose a better legend to have that, to be that kind of, I'm going to be that rogue agent, if you will. I'm a fan of the Pathfinder in that area too, only because of his mobility, but let's be real here, you can't just nope out of a fight the same way a Wraith can.
I mean, you're a fan of the Pathfinder in general.
I am, but I'm trying to not put my bias in there, right? Objectively, he is good in these moments.
They have spread so far out as the point total's coming in. Kings Canyon's continuing to creep a lot closer to Reed's money, and DrDisrespect 1 point ahead of the Broys right now. They really could get this win. It would really help push them up. Pepega 1 point behind them. Such a close race right now for third.
We're gonna have to clear every house, I guess.
17 points, so +4 now for Kings Canyon as they've been able to claw back just a little bit after their last couple games.
Check inside the bunker.
This final trek for whoever this may be at this point is
the most frustrating thing in the world if you're a team like this.
And to be honest now, let's be real. Our broadcast has been out live enough at this point that, and we have promoted the idea that you can drop to land with these guys early on. If I'm a player, I might be going, I know they're in my game, or I expect them to be in my game. I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to make this harder for you if you're a part of this tournament. And I'm not saying that's what we see here, but it's clear that they are going, you know what, we aren't going to reveal ourselves, burn as much time as possible. And in almost no circumstance is that ever a great win condition to bank on.
Scanning the area.
You can hear him talking, bro. Where is he?
Never
Bro,
lucky, apparently.
what's going on? Never lucky.
And yeah, you want ultimate accelerants, I feel like, for your Bloodhound here. This is one of the few moments that I actually think we've seen an objective, priority onto somebody other than a lifeline for ultimate accelerants. Late game, Beast of the Hunt. You want that as much as you can if you are, confident in calling out your opponents that you're better than them.
Yeah, you got to be able to find these people, especially when time is money. It's not about how many games you play, it's about how many games you can
Time is literally money in this game, too. Let's be real. Time is literally money in this situation.
Where the fuck I am?
I don't know, where are you?
I was going to say, that's what we're saying about that other squad member right now, aren't we, Shroud?
The death box not allowing the door to open.
Just get pissed off of it and kick it.
But I love how you have to kick it twice. It's like once, and then it's like, all right, the door won't open. All right, screw this door. The whole second time just to break it through.
Well, I feel like they've been all
This guy
over
knows.
this map.
He
I mean,
find these
that
people.
we-
Where
he
are
knows that
they?
we-
We're,
played
what,
one
I'm going to
time.
say my internal clock is saying like 15 seconds out from Bloodhound ult, and that's when we're going to find it, I think, if ever.
All right.
Found him.
There you go.
That's three.
Skadoodle, he found the enemy. Yep, all
He said
three
a
of them are left
all
alive,
three.
and now this is where the fun begins.
You can start the stopwatch and see how long they survive. I feel like that might be a better way to approach this last skirmish.
Shots are coming out from all different
Kraber
sides. He's got the
flame.
Kraber. That's 125 on the body shot. They're going to try to run in onto the building. He's got the R301. Isn't able to get the spray. He is able to get it on the other side. He's going to have to be forced to rotate down. Artillery strike is still left alive. Bangalore's going to get a little bit of a speed up onto the lifeline. He knocks down Don Price. He goes for the hip shot. That's going to be number 2. One player left alive.
Beautiful movement there from Shroud. Something we're going to talk about later. He barely misses that Kraber shot on the fly down. Bit of pressure out from him now. Probably going to swap over to that R301. Gets a flank angle to the left. Spray and pray. Just to make that pressure into that corner. He is pinched on the back end of this house on the western side. Flank one side. Teammate flank the other. And Skadoodle and Shroud feel like they are about to close this round out.
I do like this decision by him, though, to not over-aggress and go into the mark. He actually decides to heal up onto the shield battery first because he knows he doesn't want to stake anything to chance. He wants to make sure it's there, but it doesn't matter. Champion banner pops up. The Broys get themselves a win.
I think he used a finisher there?
He did, actually.
Yeah, and to win the game.
And I know this is a couple of seconds ago, but I talked about the movement you saw out of Shroud. The biggest thing was not only was he able to move between two those gas tanks twice and actually spray a couple of shots in between that, but then the second he breaks line of sight, he immediately lifts up. The Bloodhound thinks he's going to match him in a 1-to-1, sprays into the lifeline, and then turns the corner after the Bloodhound realizes he has completely misread. That was a full just movement alone, beyond the fact that he can point and click and shoot like Shroud can. Movement carried him there.
A master class in motion and positioning from the Shroud Meister. And now back over with Dizzy at 11 kills again. 4 squads left, 12 people.
Yeah, they're pushing for me, pushing for me.
It's about 9 to clean up. It's currently Kings Canyon on a 19-kill game.
Excuse me, bro. I need to reload for a second.
Yeah.
The hip fire comes out. Dizzy able to get himself another elimination. It doesn't matter. It's always the worst feeling in the world when you're on the other side of that. When you're on the other side of that fight and you see someone reload completely, and he's able to get himself another one. There's 3 squads left alive now for Dizzy and his crew.
Continue to clean up. Oh man, more of them. It's like, hey, come over. We're over here. Please.
I'm healing.
He's able to make it out there with the eye for him and heal up.
Shield battery comes out. He gets his full shield left alive. He's going to have to go. Now, he has to be careful with both of these clips, and that's going to be a big thing because he's only got 55 plus 43. That's going to be 98 left alive. But he's going to hop over to the edge. He's going to get 1 knockdown on the assist. Another elimination to secure the kill. 2 squads left alive now for Kings Canyon.
That was just Craigasm, dude. My goodness, that was very good positioning and rotation there coming out from King. That's the second time we've seen this team, very skilled players make rotational advantages that add to shooting advantages. And I know that's, something everybody aims to do, but I think it's a big thing to point out is that these players, we know them to be legendary shooters, but how often do you look at what if they're just outmaneuvering these players? And it feels like almost 80% of the time that is the circumstance.
And you want to talk about maneuverability? You want to talk about the maneuverability of slow and steady. They have clawed back Kings Canyon within arm's reach of Reed's money team. 161 to 152 respectively for the first and second place individuals. 9 points are left remaining, and now if they can get these last 3 kills as well as the win, that's going to give them 8 points and with them make them 1 point away from the first place.
I want to talk about the speed, violence, and momentum of DrDisrespect. The Craft starting to actually make the pull away from the other teams. There was that nice deadlock battle for 3rd place as they right now have their last game 17 kills from Vis and 12 from Real Crafty, 6 from DrDisrespect.
Okay. 35.
35?
35 bomb.
That is the new
leader right now.
And I feel like Team Pepega's is somebody we got to shout out too.
Yeah.
I feel like they were sitting like right where the gap was going to start forming as we get a couple hours deep, and actually broke that, and now are competing with the boys.
Their last game, you want to get this? Lyric had 11 kills, Shorty had 12, and Seagull only had 4.
Ooh.
Lyric getting involved.
Still a 27 bomb for your team. That's a huge amount of points. Add the win as well. 32 points added to the. If you can average 30 points, I think if you can average 30 points a game, that's pretty good, and you're going to be in the top 4. Yeah.
Ooh. You see a tango there in the Cascade section there.
Oh, you can hear the shots coming out. The Spitfire is going to get through. You can see the Legend kill leaderboards onto the right side. But while all of this is going on, it's the last opportunity. Oh, his teammate's going to go down, but it doesn't matter. Dizzy picks up the final kill. That's going to be another 5 points. They are within striking distance of Reed's money team.
We talked about how amazing it was that Dizzy was getting like 500 kills on Wraith a day. He's gotten 75 on this tournament.
Thank you guys so much.
Like he's almost to 100. He's almost to like half of his daily quota, just in a tournament.
16 kills.
33.
33. You heard him say it.
And